Hi, my name is Kathy Ekdahl, and I'm a certified personal trainer and strength and conditioning coach, and welcome back to the Fitness Forum. Today I'm going to give you an actual workout that you can tape or DVR. You can tell how old I am because I say tape still. So please turn your machines on because I want you to record this workout. And the name of this workout is the one dumbbell workout. It doesn't refer to me executing the exercise or you learning the exercise routine. It refers to the fact that throughout the entire routine today, we're just going to use one dumbbell. Today we're going to do a circuit routine where you're going to have 5 exercises and you're going to circuit from exercise to exercise to exercise without any rest. When you're performing this program, you might want to start with one set of each exercise and test it out, see how you feel. But ultimately, you could do 4 sets of this circuit. So with 5 exercises and 4 sets each, that's 20 sets total of exercise. We know that 3 sets per exercise is the best way to build strength, and because this is a pretty short program, I'm throwing in a 4th set just to be mean, I guess. I don't know what else. So you might be asking, well, why are we doing one dumbbell? Most people use 2 dumbbells for exercises. You know, asymmetry is something that's natural in the human body. And by asymmetry, I mean generally our bodies are not exactly equal to side to side. Generally, our bodies don't work equally side to side as well. So if you're right-handed, you have movements that are more dominated on that side versus if you're left-handed. So in sports training, strength and conditioning, in athletics, we never move with symmetry. In other words, we generally don't hop on both feet or push with both hands equally, so neither should our workouts. So when I talk about an easy at-home workout, here's the 2 things you need. You need a dumbbell and you need a bench. I have this bench here today, but some people will use a coffee table. Sometimes people will use just a couch to do some of the exercises. So as far as equipment, there are hardly any pieces of equipment that you need to invest in. Today I have 2 dumbbells. I have a 12-pound dumbbell because I'm going to be overhead pressing, and I have a 20-pound dumbbell. For new exercisers, you might want to start with like a 10-pound dumbbell. For experienced exercisers, you might start with 15 or 20. One thing that people ask me a lot is, well, you know, can I just use a 10-pound dumbbell for my entire routine? And the answer is no, because we have some muscle groups that are much stronger than other muscle groups. So for example, your triceps might find that a 10-pound dumbbell is too hard. For a row exercise, like a kneeling row we're going to do today, 10-pound is too little. So the variation can range anywhere from 5 to maybe 25 pounds. Even though it's called a one dumbbell workout, you actually might want to have two different weights to accommodate the various exercises. Now, over the last couple shows, if you've been watching, we've talked a lot about posture and we've talked a lot about shoulders. And so those are great shows to review and get a sense of how fit do I need to be to do this program we're going to do today. This is really a more advanced program. So if you're a new exerciser, I want you to watch this. I want you to try some of the exercises with light weight. If you're an advanced exerciser, go right into the routine, 3 to 4 sets of each, and you're good to go. If you're a new exerciser, you know, you always want to talk to your doctors first because there might be some exercises here that aren't appropriate for you. If you are a new exerciser and you're starting this routine, remember, posture is the key. So this routine requires that you have great posture throughout. And if you don't have perfect posture, you're going to want to work on that before you even begin the routine. So I'm going to start on the floor today with just a kneeling hip flexor stretch. And this is one of my favorite stretches. I'm always going to assume that the viewer is warming up before their exercise session. And you know that I have showed you how to use a foam roller on multiple occasions. So please do yourself a favor and foam roll your tissue before you work out. We're going to pretend that we already spent 5 to 10 minutes foam rolling, and that we've stretched out briefly, not for a long time, some of the body parts that are a little tight. So for example, for most people, hip flexor and quadriceps are very tight. That's why I love this brief stretch in the beginning. When your hip flexors and quadriceps are too tight, it's going to lead to knee pain. So since we're going to be doing some lunges today, you really want to make sure that you lengthen that muscle. The next exercise I'm going to do is, again, a postural exercise, and this is something we've done many times before on the show. In general, you should be spending about 5 to 10 minutes to warm up. Here today, I'm only spending maybe 1 or 2, so it's not quite an adequate warm-up. We're going to come on to all fours, and we're going to put one hand behind the head. I'm not pushing on my neck, you guys. Just gentle hold here. And then the elbow is going to go down, and I'm going to rotate way up. So basically what I'm doing here is I am loosening up my upper back muscles around the rib cage area and my shoulders. So because most of us have kind of rounded posture during the day, this is an excellent thing to start with. It really squeezes out any of that roundness that you might have. Going to the other side, my back stays very still as I do this. I'm going to go down and then really open back up like this. So I'm going to do 3 more on this side, and then make the assumption that all of you watching are very smart and you've warmed up. Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to do is called a hip thruster, and it's really a bridge on steroids. I'm going to position my shoulders onto this bench here. So if you have a couch at home, a chair, whatever, this is a great place to start. So I have my shoulders on the bench. Some people prefer to rest their head. For this bench here and this purpose, you're not going to want to do that. So the first exercise, feet, knees, and hips are all in alignment. Shoulders are relaxed. I'm going to drop down and press up. So this is called a hip thruster. Okay, and I'm going to do 8 of these. So at home, 8 to 12 repetitions is a great rep range for most people. This is not a super hard exercise. It's really kind of designed, I got 2 more here, to open up the front of the body. And it's designed to lengthen the front of the body, but also work your butt muscle. It's very important that when you do any strength training for the legs, that your glute muscles are doing most of the work. There's exercise number 1. Now remember, this is a circuit, you guys. I'm not resting in between these, which means you're going to hear me getting out of breath. Here's exercise number 2. This is a plank. There's a million different variations of these. Typically, I like you to hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. During my plank, by the way, I am thinking of squeezing my butt hard. That's your core too. And I'm drawing my abdominals in. So while I do the plank, I'm stabilizing my core, obviously. So lots of different variations. Here's a traditional plank. When this gets easy, you can lift one leg for half the time. You could lift the other leg for half the time. You could lift your arms here. That's a lot harder than it looks. What I'm really trying to do here during that plank is squeeze my glute muscles so that my hips don't rotate. Did you notice that when I was lifting my arms, my hips rotate a little bit? So you want to avoid that. You're not going to want to do those harder variations unless the regular plank is hard. So is too easy rather. So if the regular plank is hard, stay with that. When it gets easy, go on to the variations. So 8 to 10 reps of the hip thruster, 30 seconds of the plank. Now comes our first asymmetric 1 dumbbell exercise. I'm going to use a 12-pound for this, which for me is quite challenging. There's a bunch of different variations of this, so I'm going to show you The easiest variation first, then you can ramp up. The easiest variation is to hold the dumbbell at your chest here. Lunge down, come back up. Okay? So if you're brand new to exercise, you could hold the dumbbell here. It's going to turn your core on, and it also prevents you from using your shoulders during the exercise. The second variation is to just hold the dumbbell here at your shoulder, go back, press up, down, get up. That's the second variation. The hardest variation is to lock the arm up over the head, go back, down, up, get up. So I'm going to continue with this exercise. So what is this doing for me? I have to really concentrate, by the way, when I do this. So you're going to see me looking straight ahead, concentrating. It's working my shoulders, it's working my upper back, but it's also working the entire left side of my body because this is having to stabilize me. Most importantly, right now, the front leg glute cheek is really working. And when I go to the other side, you'll get a better sense of that. So again, I'm going to lunge back, put my knee to the ground, down, up, push through the right heel. There. Okay, let's switch arms here. So now my right leg is going to go back. Okay, and it's this glute cheek that's going to help me get up. It's very important through this exercise that you engage your glute cheek. Okay? Back, down, up, push through the glute. I'm also pushing through my heel. Okay, so as I go down, pushing through that heel, that front leg, beautiful. Back. Is anyone counting? Maybe I am. I'm going to do 3 more. So 8 to 12 of everything. Good. 2 more here if you're watching. The other important thing to notice is when I go down and when I go up, my knee is staying very still and very stable. It's not wiggling all over the place. If as you drop down or come up, you see that knee wiggling like this, you got to keep it stable. If as you get up, this happens, do you see my knee? You could hurt your knee. And that's a sign of weak hips and poor glute strength. So make sure that that knee is staying very, very stable. All right, now I'm going to pick up a heavier dumbbell. And so we're on exercise 4. This is a 20. Most of the time when I do a dumbbell row, I would use a 35 probably for this. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make with dumbbell rowing is going very light. You're working a lot of muscles here. You're working your lats, you're working your trapezius muscle group, your rhomboids in between your shoulder blades, you're working the back of the shoulder, and you're also working your biceps. So remember, when all those muscle groups are working together, they can lift a lot of weight. So this is my last one on this side. Good. And I'm going to switch sides. You know, if you're working a single muscle group, like your biceps or your triceps, or just a part of your shoulder, like in a fly, you could use very light weight. But when you're doing big exercises for the chest, the back, the legs, you got to use heavy weights. On the lunge, which I'll repeat in a few exercises from now and the rest of the circuit, sometimes people will hold a dumbbell on one side and the other side overhead. That would make it even harder. All right, so here we are. I'm in the other side. I'm going to row up and down. And again, this is a 20-pound weight. It's very important when you do a dumbbell row that your back be very straight. That's the component that's postural here. My abs are in, my back is straight. One more time. Okay, so I'm resting, and maybe you are, or maybe you shouldn't be. I know I said you're not supposed to rest, but remember, 8 to 12 reps. You should be mildly out of breath while you do this, okay? All right, last exercise, and then we restart everything again, is a push-up. Now, there's lots of different ways to do push-ups. I'm going to do mine on the floor. However, a nice push-up variation would be a bench push-up. So if you're the kind of person who has always done push-ups on your knees, I want you to stop doing that. I want you to start doing straight leg push-ups. So let me just show you. This is kind of an awkward view, but remember, guys, just so you can see what this looks like, I can do a push-up from here, okay? So what that means is I can get that sense of my whole straight body on the bench and do a really nice push-up. So watch me, I'll do one here and then I'll go to the floor. Okay, now when you do your push-up, make sure the bench doesn't slide, okay? So here, my feet are wide. That's a nice push-up, okay? Excuse my backside, but that's the way you progress to a push-up. Stop the on the knees push-up, because the problem with that, you'll never progress. To go from on your knees to straight leg on the floor is too much of a jump. Start with the arm of a couch, move down to a high chair, move down to a bench, move down to a step, and then you go to the floor. So let's pump out a few push-ups right here. I'm again squeezing my butt, squeezing my abs, and I'm thinking about bringing my shoulder blades together as I do these push-ups, okay? Notice something. I'm going to do one more here. Okay. Notice my arms aren't going out like this. Okay, a lot of times when I first start working with clients, people's arms are way out like that. You really don't want that. You want like this. You want those shoulder blades to squeeze together. You want the elbows slightly out, but not all the way like that, okay? All right, now we're going to start from the hip thrusters again. That's your first circuit. So if you're watching this show, that's the order you're going to go in, if you're taping the show, I should say. And now we're going to go down to the hip thrusters again. So the other thing you'll notice about this workout is we're alternating muscle groups. So right now I'm working my glutes and my legs. Then in the plank, we're working my abs, the rest of the core. Then we do our lunge, which works lower and upper at the same time. Then we work the upper back. There's 10. Then we work the upper back with the row. And then the push-ups finish our chest and our core. So by alternating muscle groups in each exercise, you can do what I'm doing, which means you go without rest. Okay, right down into my plank. So notice I'm not doing any arm work here. You know, I'm trying to create a workout for you guys that can be fast and can be complete. And if you really want to do some arm workout, you can add that in to the end of the routine. All right, now I'm going to get my 12 here. When you're using heavy weights, be really careful how you pick them up. I think a lot of times we probably hurt ourselves lifting the weights rather than lifting them off the floor rather than actually using them. So here we are, nice tall body. This arm is directly over my shoulder. It's not here, it's not here. The weight is right up over my shoulder. So I'm translating a lot of work all the way down to my upper back, my waistline, all the way down into my obliques. And I'm pushing, please, with the glute of the forward leg. Push. Notice how I separate these movements. Okay, I'm going to do one more on this side. And I'm going to get up. So that's a lot of work on your whole body. Okay, other side now. Arms locked up. This one goes down, down, up. Good. I'm just facing this way so you can see the front open part of my body. I'm going to turn around for this next one. So here, as I did earlier, remember, this is the butt side that's working. Okay? You're down to the ground, your muscles shut off. Now I have to get this glute cheek to engage. And last one. Okay, so let's go now to our single arm row. I'm going to pick up my heavier weight. We're on circuit 2 right now, and I'm going to do 10 of these. Normally in my show, I don't do workouts. There's tons of workouts there on TV. I kind of want you guys to know why you do the things you do. Why am I asking you to do these various exercises? What muscle groups are they working? A lot of times, here's 10, people will follow a workout and not even know what muscle groups they're working. I think it's really important for the public, for the exerciser, to be fully educated about what are good exercises, what are the right ones for your body, what exercises aren't good for your body. And we've talked a lot about those in past shows. This is one exercise that 99.99% of the time, if done correctly, you're never going to hurt yourself. And even people with existing shoulder or back issues, as long as you're cleared by your doctor, can do this exercise really perfectly. 2 more. And 1 more. So, now we go to push-ups. So in the second circuit, we've done the hip thrusters, we've done the planks. So we did hip thrusters for your butt, planks for your abs and your butt and your shoulders, reverse lunge with overhead press, working your glutes, your thighs, your core stability, and your shoulders and upper back. Then we did single arm row, which works your upper back, back of your shoulders, biceps, great postural exercise. Now I'm going to do my push-ups again. Remember, you can go on the bench if you want to. I would always rather see 10 or 6 to 10 great bench push-ups than 6 nasty push-ups on the floor, okay? So, one of the great cues that someone taught me recently, which really helped me to think about the push-up, was as you push up, think about actually rotating like this. Think about your scapula doing this and your hands doing that, like you're corkscrewing. By corkscrewing on the way up, okay, you're going to get that sense of power in the upper back muscles. 2 more, and 1 more. Okay, so people think they can't do a push-up because they have weak upper body. Women in particular, triceps, shoulders, chest, and that is part of it. But the push-up is actually the ultimate core exercise. It's a sign that your glutes and your abdominals are holding your body still. So if you're in a push-up, let's say you're here and you're sagging, that means you've lost your core. You've got to draw your stomach in. Or if you're like this, you've lost your shoulder stability. Those are signs that you need to work on your upper back, you need to work on your glutes, you need to work on your abs. Those are going to support your push-up. All right, we're on circuit 3, going back to the hip thrusters. And let me tell you, you probably can hear it, I'm really out of breath. This is a great workout. And again, I can make it as easy or hard as I want to. So in this third set, let's say I've decided that these bridges are really easy for me, or these hip thrusters. Okay, now, single leg hip thruster. So this is a lot harder, okay? I'm going to do 1 more. So that's 6. That's a great exercise. I wouldn't move to that variation until the 2-legged hip thruster is easy. 3. I'm really pushing. You can see I'm pushing through the heel. 5, 6. I was pushing through the heel of my foot. Same with the lunge. As you're coming up from the floor, if you push through your heel, you'll emphasize more the back of the body rather than the front of the body, which is the knees. We don't want to be pushing with our toes. When you push with your toes, it gets the knees. Okay, planks. So we're getting there. So let's say you do 3 sets of this. Each set maybe takes a minute and a half. So we've got 3 sets of 5 exercises, which is 15, a minute and a half each. You know, you're looking roughly at 22 minutes. So with warm up, this can be done in 30 seconds. So we've got like 2 or 3 minutes left. I don't know if we'll get through the whole thing, but we're pretty close. And you guys know me. I talk a lot, right? So imagine how much we could get out of this if I didn't talk so much. Okay? So I'm going to do a few more of these. This is probably your hardest exercise. Okay? One of the reasons that people find this very hard is you have to put your knee all the way to the ground. And what happens during that is that the muscles actually relax. Then you have to ask the muscles to contract and go again, and that's what makes it so hard. Remember, if this is really hard for you, just use a very light weight, 5 pounds. But I really want my butt to get the work. The stronger your glutes, the stronger your knees, believe it or not. I'm going to do 2 more. This is 4. And 1 more, just for brevity of this show. Okay, so we have a little bit of time left. Let me just give you a little bit of conclusion here. So this is a half-an-hour show. I spent 5 minutes talking. In 23 minutes, I'm almost done with the 3 sets. So when you or my other clients tell me, I don't have time to exercise, I don't have equipment to exercise, I don't have space to exercise, baloney. 30 minutes, 1 dumbbell, 5x5 space, you can do it. One of the tricks that I always mention to my clients is something called a 10-minute rule. So what I say to people is, if you're having trouble initiating exercise, promise to do 10 minutes. Promise yourself. 99.99% of the time, you'll start, you'll get 10 minutes in, and you'll realize, wow, I actually do have more time than I thought, and you'll do more. What if you came and did 1 exercise of each of this circuit? Hey, something is always better than nothing. So I hope you've enjoyed this show. I hope you recorded it. My name is Kathy Ekdahl, and I'm available for any comments or questions anytime. You can reach me at Kathy, that's with a K, at personalbestpersonaltraining.com. So that's our show for today. I welcome any questions or comments, and I'm actually cooling down a little bit because it's a pretty hard workout. Hey, have a great day.